Let's return to Africa, where Gabonese are reacting to the provisional result indicating that Brice Nguema, the military junta who removed the longtime president Ali Bongo in a coup in 2023, has emerged victorious in Gabon's presidential election. The 50-year-old Brice Nguema, who achieved a remarkable victory, securing 90.35% of the vote and surpassing 7 other contenders, including the former Prime Minister Alain Cloud, who garnered only 3% of the vote, as reported by Interior Minister Hemen during the announcement of provisional results. The Interior Ministry reported a turnout of 87.21% in this election, with approximately 920,000 registered voters, including over 28,000 from abroad, participating at more than 3,000 polling stations. Some citizens say their main concern is for the new government to create job opportunities, especially for graduates who are struggling to find employment, while praying that the president will consider the people's needs, particularly in improving the living conditions for those in majority who reside in underprivileged neighborhoods.
Prime Alain Claude Bailey Bynes. So as far as young people are concerned, we would like to see jobs for young people who are currently unemployed, especially the graduates who are unable to secure jobs. As a Gabonese, what I expect from President Oligui Nguema is quite simply that they take into account the expectations of the people, in particularly to improve the living conditions of those who, at least the majority, who live in precarious neighborhoods. What we want to see is a broader social policy. We don't want to see elderly people abandoned in the streets.
And for an analysis of the just concluded election in Gabon, a professor of international relations and strategic studies, David Awurawa, joins me here in Lagos. It's good to have you join us. Brice Nguema was the former military general. He seized power in 2023 and promised to hand over, which he later did not. Now he has won the election. Do you think his election will lead to change and reforms that we expect in Gabon? And can he be trusted?
Thank you for having me. Well, he said he was going to hand over. He didn't hand over, as promised. And now he has handed over to himself. Talking about the issue of trust, I'm not sure we can trust such a person. The first promise he made, he didn't fulfill it. But he's there now. So how he would, combat the problems facing Gabon, many of them, and ensure that the Gabonese live a higher level of life and that Gabon develops, that should be the focus now. The elections themselves, well, we didn't have too many negative comments regarding the elections. They said they were free and fair. Gabon is a fairly small country, less than 2.5 million people. So it wasn't complicated to monitor. And there seemed to be, the large number of people seem to agree that the elections were free and fair. And they usually win. These military generals, there's a way they organize the political structure that gives them a whole lot of advantage. But the elections have come and gone, and so attention has to be, turned to how Gabon develops. And there are many options that the President Nguema has in this regard. A small country, vast resources. If he's able to manage the resources well, Gabon should be able to develop far, higher level than where it is now. What has happened to Gabon over the years has been systemic corruption and inability of those who have led the country to harness the resources and use the resources judiciously for the benefit of the Gabonese. You heard from the comments that the youths are saying he has to focus on youth employment. If I'm to advise him, I would tell him that it's not just, just creating jobs. He has to develop human capacity, innovation. That's what countries are doing now for youths, so that they can find jobs for themselves. And of course, the industrial sector in the country needs to expand. Gabon has oil. What countries that have oil do these days is to use resources from oil to develop other sectors. It also has vast agriculture. It has timber, it has thick forests where timber is taken from. They could diversify that, process agricultural products, assist farmers All of these things will raise the quality of life of people, many of them in the rural areas. And people will forget about how he became president if he's able to contribute tremendously to the development of the country.
I mean, we saw a lot of celebration when he was announced the winner of that election. But while supporters were celebrating him as a national savior and a symbol of stability, some critics are saying that Gabon may be witnessing a familiar trend as with other nations in Africa, a military leader who is, cloaking or pretending with the trappings of democracy. Would you say you agree with that, given that it's part of the political elite that has ruled Gabon for years?
Yeah, the second perspective is what I agree with. They usually come like this and present a veneer of salvation for the people. But after some years, we begin to see evidence of rottenness and incapacity. Gabon has had a very unfortunate history of dictatorships. We had the president Omar Bongo, who was there for about 42 years. And then his son Ali Bongo took over from him in 2009, who was overthrown in August 2023. So they have this, history of authoritarianism. We hope that Nguema does not go that direction. Let him have his term and let him go. And while he has his term, let him focus on development of the country. It's a small country with vast resources. That these resources are, managed judiciously and effectively. The country will develop, and the Gabonese will have a far higher quality of life than they currently have. That should be his focus. He should not do like others. Of course, there are tendencies for that all the time, to try to elongate his stay and become another, dictator in the country. The focus should be on developing the country and, of course, sticking to his term. That is what will define his legacy, not just the present euphoria of people calling him the savior. I'm not carried away by that. They always come like that, and they almost always disappoint after staying some time in office.
I mean, the concern is if it was actually free and fair by international standards. But from what we saw, those in Gabon want actual change, and we are looking forward to that. But thank you for talking to us at this time, Professor of International Relations, David Awurawa. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.